So, woke up this morning hungry for beef, okay? And I know you guys probably, some of y'all missed my expose videos. So, today we're going to be talking about one of my big major competitors that I want to expose today, okay? Y'all know how grimy I get. Hopefully you guys appreciate these videos. But without further ado, my name is Brian Mucklin Sorcheno, founder of Pantech Consulting Group, also founder of Broker Solutions Academy. Pantech Consulting Group, we always say our goal is to help you reach your goal. If you're looking for business capital, we'll link in the description. Broker Solutions Academy, if you're looking to become a real business loan broker, not a glorified referral partner, and want some real training, there's going to be a link in the description how we connect together. Without further ado, I wanted to get all that YouTube stuff out the way because we're going to get busy here today's video talking about this company right here. And again, one of my competitors. You guys know I love talking about my competitors, okay? I love to just expose this industry. I really do. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started here. Let me go ahead and get this video down to the corner. There we go. What we're going to talk about today is C Capital, okay? If you don't know who these guys are, they've been in business for some time. And the reason I'm talking about C Capital today is I had one of my clients, actually a prospect, reached out to me. They went through their funding process and they were disgusted, to say the least. And I looked them up, and something that shocked me is there were over 6,000 reviews. I was like, wow, okay, this company's, they're doing something. But as I continued to look them up, I saw, just recently, I think this was a month ago, FTC secured an initial win with their small business owners. So I was like, oh boy, okay. And again, this is what really caught my attention. 4.7% Google rating, almost 5%, and almost 6,000 reviews. That's a lot, okay? There's a lot of fake reviews too. Okay, we're going to get into that in just a second. But because if you look at Yelp, this is one of the signs right there where you just know there's a bunch of fake Google reviews. Because look at the comparison between Yelp and Google. I mean, come on, how are you going to have almost a 5-star review on Google, but have a 1.7 review on Yelp? Okay. There's got to be some fake Google reviews. It is what it is. Now, let's go right here. This is what I want to focus on today. I want to focus on this FTC stuff and what they did. They started this action. This was last year in November 24, FTC started taking action against this company. We'll be right back. What the heck is going on? We'll link to that click. And let's see what they were doing. Okay. Now, first off, let's understand the product. We have to kind of know what we're talking about. What C Capital offers is the business credit card stacking program. Okay, what is this program and what is it? Oh, it seems like we're having some what's wrong with their website, man? That's who was having maintenance issues. What the heck, Seek? Okay, I wanted to talk about your website. What they offer is business credit card stacking, and business credit card stacking, if you do not know what this product is what we do is we go and apply to multiple different banks pretty much at the same time within a very short period of time and get multiple different credit cards at the same time. It's an excellent product. One of the best ways to get your business funded, especially if you're a startup or even established company, because some of the benefits are, number one, there's no income verification. A lot of startups, even a lot of established companies have issues with programs that require income verification for a few different reasons. Number one, some of them maybe have not filed tax returns. Maybe some of them have filed tax returns, but they have a very creative accountant. So they're, quote unquote, losing money on the tax returns because, the more losses you have, the less you can, you have to pay to the I, the R, and the S. So, but the thing is, it kind of kicks yourself in the foot because when you come into now trying to obtain funding, you don't look like a profitable business. So you're not going to qualify for majority of the different funding programs that are out there. Now, credit card stacking allows you to get 50, 100, 150,000, even more in business funding that do not report on your personal credit, only report on your business credit, helps you build business credit, has 0% interest for the first 6 months, 12 months, or even up to 18 months at 0% interest. You only pay on the amount used, and it's a revolving line. So you have what I call continuous access. There's a ton of benefits with this program. It's a very, very, very great program. It's a very lucrative product where me as a broker, I charge a very good success fee for getting somebody into this program. So with that said, let's talk about now how this program is actually fulfilled. How do you handle the fulfillment? How do we handle the processing for this program? Well, I can tell you this. Number one, there is no banking relationship that most people have with this program. There is no, Bank of America, U.S. Bank, American Express do not have an affiliate relationship for their credit card stacking program. Okay, they just don't. Now, if you're really good, like we are, we do have some bank contacts with some business relationship managers that we have established a personal relationship with that they assist our clients. Why is this important? It's important because the way this product used to be delivered back in the day, okay, when this thing started becoming hot post 2008, we used to basically just go online with the client's information and submit the client's the applications on the client's behalf. Okay, if I have a client in New York, California, Arizona, Alabama, it doesn't matter. I would literally just get them to fill out an application, and I would go to bankofamerica.com. I would go to U.S. Bank. I'd go to whatever bank it is. I would take that specific product. Once I've developed the lending sequence, it's not as easy as you think. So if you're a consumer, you just think you can go out there and submit this application by yourself. You really can't. You're not going to be able to get as much money as you can get if you're dealing with a credible broker that knows what they're talking about. There's other factors that you have to keep into account. But going back to how this product was delivered, it was that simple. We just went online and submitted. Now, the bank started catching up with what we were doing back in the day. So catching on, meaning that if I have clients in all these different jurisdictions, and if I'm submitting all these applications from my house, because that's where we usually were, it might cause a red flag. So banks started basically, blocking some of these submissions if they were coming from the same IP address. If you don't know what an IP address is, it's basically like your home address, and basically when you're submitting all these applications, the bank can kind of see which IP address they're coming from. And if they're all coming from the same IP address, again, it could cause a red flag. So we started getting a lot of denials. We had to up our game a little bit. So people went to using VPNs. This is when VPNs became popular. Now, with a VPN, you can be able to be anywhere you want to be. It doesn't matter where you want to be. One of the most popular VPNs that I still use today, I don't use it to deliver this specific product, but I use it today for numerous things that I use a VPN for. It's called Hide My Ass. Okay, I know, very funny name. This is it right here. If you can see it on the side, HMA, Hide My Ass. But basically what this VPN allowed you to do is, it allowed you to go to any state you want to. If I got a client in Alaska, I'd go to Alaska. If I got a client in Arizona, California, whatever it is, and then I would submit that applications on that client's behalf and get them approved. Okay? Are you following me? So first off, we're just doing it, submitting it with just from our IP, with the client's information. Lenders caught on to what we're doing. They didn't really like this credit card stacking thing, understandably so. So we went ahead and moved on to the VPN game, where we just, again, doing the same thing, submitting on the client's behalf, with the client's permission, of course. There's no scammy stuff going on here at all. Now, once the client gets approved, we charge them our success fee. Now, what happened next is with the AI and all this other thing is going on right now. Lenders caught on to a lot of people using these VPNs, and we even took it even further. We started using proxy servers. If you don't know what proxy servers is, I don't want to get really technical here, but proxy servers is it's a little bit more. I want you to look at proxy servers like spoof calling. If you don't know what that is, you need to Google it. But spoof calling is a way that I can call somebody's phone and I can actually tell their caller ID what number I want to show on that caller ID. Very technical. But again, it allowed us to create custom IP addresses for each and every single client that we were processing, very specific to their region, to their city, down to you can even choose what the, the internet server that you want to represent whenever you're submitting the application. So anyway, I don't want to get too technical in this video, but I wanted to present that to you so you understand, number one, the product. I wanted you to understand how the product is delivered, okay, as we get here and talk about what Seek is doing and how they got in trouble, okay? So with all that said, let's go ahead and talk about and bring up this complaint that was filed here. And this was 2024. This is end of last year, okay? And they filed a complaint, and Seek was a major player in this game, way bigger than me. I'm gonna be honest. They were a huge team. I got a little small team here. They were a huge team. And so we're gonna read a little bit about this, and I'm gonna explain this. I'm gonna translate it. to make it make sense to you, the Federal Trade Commission is taking action against Seek Capital and its founder, CEO, Roy Freeman, okay, for operating a bogus finance scheme that cost small business owners more than $37 million. According to the complaint filed by the FTC, the company has targeted new and aspiring small business owners looking for loans or lines of credit to open up and grow their businesses. While the company's advertising implies that business owners would have access to cash instead, Seek charges clients thousands of dollars simply opening credit cards in the owner's name. So I'm just going to put it out there, right? I don't know why people that sell this product lie to customers about if they're going to have cash. It's a credit card, okay? We disclose that information very open. You're going to be receiving business credit cards. These business credit cards will report on your business credit report. We do teach people 1,000,001 ways on how to get access to cash if they want to out of these business credit cards. But these are business credit cards. There's no reason to lie to people saying that, these are lines of credit or, whatever it is. But a lot of people do in this industry. Moving on. Instead, Seek Capital charges thousands simply opening credit cards for business owners. So one of the biggest things in business is setting the right expectations. Okay? One of the things is you want to be able to sell exactly what you're selling. Okay, I don't know how else to put it. Okay, don't try to, this is. Have you ever seen those Temu memes where somebody sees a couch on Temu and then it's delivered and it's like this small? Okay, that's what kind of this reminds me of. You get the client so excited. You're going to get cash. You're going to get business funding. And then they get a credit card. And then they're like, dude, what the heck is this? I don't know why anybody would do that. I really don't, especially when you're offering this product. Maybe they need to get my book, 3 Paths to Lending. Because if you do want cash, there's cash options out there. Okay. There's actually traditional lines of credit. We help people get traditional lines of credit with true cash access that are not credit cards. But moving on. Starting or growing a small business is no easy task. And it's made even harder by those who deceive small business owners with false promises. Liquid Capital, Samuel Levine, Director of FTC Bureau of Consumer Protection. The FTC will ensure that all consumers look for financial products and services, including small business owners, are protected from those who break the law. Okay? So, business owners find Seek Capital when they're looking for sources of funding to make payroll, buy vehicles, other ongoing expenses involving keeping a business up and running. According to the complaint, Seek Capital adds call company that the market leader in business loans for small businesses. And the company's website advertised best startup loans in 2024. The complaint points numerous other ads and marketing materials from Seek Capital and its lead generators that tout the easily available of tens of thousands of dollars in business loans and business lines of credit with promises that business owners who can apply can be pre-approved in just minutes. Okay, so again, this company specifically only offered credit card stacking. They didn't do business loans. They didn't do anything else. So for them to lure you in with their ads that basically, this is that snake oil salesman type of mentality that I always talk about, okay? They talk about something else and then they do the little switcheroo, whenever you come in there, okay? The complaint points numerous other ads. When business owners express interest in this type of funding, they're contacted by Seek telemarketers who potential clients Seek was offering lines of credit with access to cold hard cash. According to the complaint, Seek telemarketers use high-pressure sales tactics, including follow-up calls and some business owners who have described as insistent and harassing. Once business owners sign the contract, instead of procuring business loans or lines of credit, Seek begins applying for numerous credit cards, typically personal credit cards. Okay, why would somebody get you into? Why would you do personal credit cards if you sell them on business credit cards? I just don't get it. Because again, I've been doing this for so long. It's a very lucrative industry as long as you're just honest. Okay, and this is I point out these type of people in this industry because I gotta get rid of these scammers. I really do, because I love what I'm doing. I've been doing this since 2011. And why? Why lie? We do personal credit cards. We do business credit cards. We do business lines of credit. We do business loans. We do merchant cash advance. We do account receivable financing. We do real estate loans. We do everything, and we present to the client the good, the bad, the ugly, the everything. One of the steps that I require each one of my clients to go through before we start getting them into a funding program is called a compliance call. It's on a recorded line where we tell them exactly what they're going to get. We tell them exactly what's going to be required of them. Okay, so this is just stupid. Typically, personal credit cards Seek charges business owners 10% of the total amount of cards issued, and the amount can total thousands according to the complaint. The business owners never see, sign, approve any credit card application that Seek submits on their behalf. The complaint charges that the first time many learned that Seek Capital applied for credit cards in their name is when they receive alert about a drop in their credit score. An invoice from Seek listing credit cards Seek obtaining their name, or a letter from bank approving or denying them for credit cards. This is also when many business owners first learn Seek hefty fees. Why? Why did you not tell them about their fees? Okay, it's just, again, just upfront disclosure, telling people, setting the right expectation is critically important if you're going to be getting into this business, okay? You have to tell the business owners what they're going to be getting into. You have to tell them exactly what is expected of them. You can't submit applications on somebody's behalf without letting them know. Okay, one of the processes that we do here is when we submit an application, we let you know for a few different reasons. Number one, if that bank contacts you and you don't, if they say, hey, Mr. Jeff, we see here you have a business credit card application that you applied for. And they're like, oh, what the heck? I didn't apply for that. Credit card? I didn't think I was going to. We don't want that. That's going to, lower your chances of getting approved. And of course, it's going to raise the flags when you're talking about fraud and require additional verification, all this other stuff. So I don't know why lie to the clients, okay? If the business owners tries to cancel the agreement with Seek even before they have submitted a single application on business owner's behalf, Seek will slap them with an early termination fee of $9.95. God dang. I would love to see the agreement. I don't know why you would do that, though. I really don't. My program is very simple. We charge a flat 10% fee only when you get funded. It's just that simple, okay? I used to charge a $4.95 refundable commitment fee if we didn't get you funded what we promised, but I even stopped doing that, okay? I'm trying to be very competitive. I made a video talking about how you can win in business. You got to be cheaper, be better, and be faster. That's it. So for those reasons, I even decided to lower my fees because I had competitors like keep coming in talking about 10%. I used to charge 15%. But I didn't have a cancellation fee. That's kind of crazy. The impact on Seek's conduct is significant for consumers in the midst of starting a new business. The complaint cites one new business owner who said, because of Seek deceiving practices, I almost went out of business. My business plan got stalled, and I did not expand my company as planned. My credit has still not recovered, even though it has been almost a year. Seek did not provide the services they promised. Of course they didn't. If I had known Seek would only apply for credit cards, I would have never signed up with Seek. Why did you not just tell them this? Okay, and this is the thing. I don't know why so many people in this industry try to finesse, if I can use that word, what the client is going to receive. They're going to get credit cards. We're very clear on that. Even on our agreement, it's very specific exactly what the client is going to get. Okay, even in our compliance call, it's very specific and very clear exactly what the client is going to get. Okay, so and one of the reasons why we do it the way we do it is we don't want any confusion when they get their cards and they're like, oh, it's a credit card. I didn't know I was going to get a credit card. I've had that before happen to me. Okay. So if you can, one of the statements of understanding that this is our agreement. This is definitely not Seek's agreement. Maybe Seek, hey, jot a few notes. Okay. On our agreement, it says, I understand that I will be receiving corporate credit cards by U.S. mail overnight. The corporate credit cards will not show on my credit report. They will only show on the corporations I submitted or I had created for the use of the process. I also understand that if I choose not to pay back the money, it takes the corporate credit cards that I received them, and I understand the lender will place them on my personal credit report. Very, 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 very clear as to what they're going to be receiving and the if, good, bad, whatever it is. Okay. So, and even our fees is right there, 10%, in big lettering and everything like that. It's very straightforward program. It really is. Okay. And for consumers and business owners that think that they can do this themselves, you really can't, because there's a lot of things that if you know what you're doing, we come up with reasonable projections, especially for startups, to help them secure the highest amount of funding possible. We come up with a good lender sequence on how to submit, when to submit, to help them secure the highest amount possible, because we understand which lenders are inquiry sensitive and which ones are not. We understand which inquiries which lender is going to pull. We try to guesstimate to the best of our ability based on all the data that we have as to which credit bureau is going to pull to help, again, the goal being getting the highest amount of approvals as possible to help the client to meet their goal. So, moving on here. Impact significant consumer. Okay. The complaint also charges Seek Capital distorted torch its online ratings. Absolutely. I am in agreement with that. This rating by pressuring consumers to provide 5-star review on the companies before they have even received any funding. Deletes negative consumer reviews, encourages employees to post reviews. I knew when you see a company like this, 6,000 reviews, they were getting people to post a review before even got funded. And then you got Yelp that has 1.7 reviews, 110 of them. There's something wrong. And we're going to read these reviews here in just a second as well. But there's for sure something wrong with what the heck is going on here. And you're going to see part of the issues that they had pertains to just full disclosure. Okay? Hold on one second. So, let's go ahead and finish off this complaint here. But for sure, and its contracts illegally prohibits clients from leaving it. Its contracts illegally prohibits clients from leaving negative reviews about Seek. Why would you do that? I don't know. Anyway, the commission's vote authorizing the staff to file a complaint was 5-0. The complaint was filed in the U.S. District Court, Central District of California. Okay, so that was a complaint that was filed in 2024. Now, let's go ahead and speed this thing up to 2025. What the heck happened? Okay. What the heck happened? Let's see what's going on here. FTC secures an initial win with small business finance scheme case against Seek Capital. This is just a month or two ago. Okay, the Federal Trade Commission secured an initial win against Seek Capital and the founders Roy Freeman and the U.S. Court of Central District California FTC motion preliminary injunction. Under preliminary injunction by district court, Seek Capital is prohibited from making false claims related to small business loans or lines of credit and is forbidden from contacting any consumer whose information the company obtained before February 20th of 2025. They are forbidden. According to the FTC complaint filed November 2024, Seek Capital targets new aspiring small business owners looking for loans or lines of credit to open and grow their business. These companies falsely advertised and it can secure business loans or lines of credit. Instead, it charges thousands of dollars to simply open credit cards in the owner's names. This action have cost small business owners more than $37 million. The district court granted FTC motion preliminary injunction February 20th, finding that the FTC was likely to succeed on its merit of all its claim. The court entered the FTC proposed an order of full and found that requested relief was necessary and appropriate, given that Seek Capital and Freeman was continuing to collect on invoices to consumers who fell victim to their deceptive schemes. The court found that the injunction was necessary to mitigate harm pending trial. The staff attorneys on the matter, Maya, whatever, Catherine, whatever, and Laura, whatever, of the FTC Bureau and Consumer Protection. The FTC Consumer Works promote competition and protection and educate consumers. The FTC never demand money, makes threats, tells you to transfer money, or promises a prize. Okay, so anyway, they got an injunction. I think this is still ongoing. This is still ongoing. It wasn't criminal, I don't believe. But for sure, let me see, preliminary injunction. Let's see what else can we find out about Seek Capital. Seek Capital here. Orders of preliminary injunction. This is the preliminary injunction right here. Okay, I'm not going to read all of this. But what I am going to read is some of these reviews. Let's go ahead and kind of just get on Google, okay? And I know, as you can see on the FTC, some of these are all made up, okay? Let's just look at some recent reviews. Actually, I'm you know me. I get real petty, so I'm going to go with all the low rating reviews first, okay? Don't work with Seek Capital. Whatever you do, I bet they have good intentions, but they generally had most unproductive, untrustworthy, and for what it's worth, the experience and overall was a waste of money and time. So many things happened with the approval. First off, I was seeking business credit. They got me credit cards and they weren't even tied to my business. What? Zero communication, calls go to voicemail. Once you get the cards, through them, there's zero means of communication. I've been trying to cancel 2 cards that literally have zero affiliation to my business and they won't pick up the phone or at least work something out. Don't work with Seek. I don't know how you would get somebody cards that are not tied to his business. I don't know. Maybe they were personal cards. We initially had a great experience with Seek Capital, receiving personalized service and clear communication with outlined specific needs, and we were happy with the original agreement. However, as the process went on, multiple agents prioritized the sale of sales goals over expressed preferences. We were asked to sign documents which we trusted would align with the original agreement, but later realized they changed their terms against our wishes with agent sales goals and added, thus increasing the fee. Unfortunately, after funding process was completed and our bill was paid, our follow-up questions weren't answered. A disappointing outcome after promising start future tips, always read everything carefully before signing the agreement. This is a thing. And again, as we're talking about this particular product, it is really not that complicated. One of the things that I thought about when I was creating my fee agreement, it's a 2-page agreement. As you can see, the first page highlights what exactly the client is going to get. The second page talks about exactly what they, understanding what they're going to get, including the fee. And right here, we go ahead and get them to understand again what they're going to get, including the fee. This is it. On top of this, we do send them an online form where they can go ahead and complete this form to provide us all the necessary information we need in order to actually execute the applications on their behalf, their name, their social, their EIN number, and so forth and so on. But multiple agreements stacked on each other, it seems very schemish. The process is kind of, they got the people on the hook. And then, after that, these people just thinking that Seek is on their side, went ahead and proceeded signing all these other agreements without understanding what they were signing. But what other agreements could you be signing? It just doesn't make any sense. In the very beginning, I was promised a lineup because you can see how in the very beginning, I don't want to say that, in the very beginning, I was promised a line of credit, but turned into multiple credit cards that I could have filled out on my own. Instead, now that's another thing that most people are going to say, and I will continue saying it. Yes, you may have filled out this stuff on your own, but you cannot get as much funding as you can get if you're working out with a credible company that knows what they're doing. I always remind people, yes, you can probably represent yourself in court, but it is probably the dumbest thing that you'll ever do. Okay, so it's almost the same thing. A doctor can pretty much doctor themselves, but even doctors go to other doctors. Anyway, that's a different story. In the very beginning, I was promised a line of credit. I was assuming when they mentioned credit cards, it was going to be them working with their banks to create a single line of credit. Instead, I have multiple credit cards I guaranteed I won't really use, and even with the 0% interest for 12 months, that time frame will be spent paying them back instead of since their fees are so expensive. No negotiation on the invoice. Read everything closely. Don't be swayed by their words when they say they can get more funding than requested. And I recommend just work with the local banks in your area. That's what this person feels like. Seek Capital is a big scam. That's what this consumer right here said. They will run your credit, multiple credit agencies to obtain credit cards, which I could have done by myself. I was promised a line of credit. After I submitted my application, I realized that I was going to get $100,000 business credit cards, and they got me $5,000. Okay, we got to highlight this real quick. One of the things that we do here is when we get a client, we will look at their personal credit report. We've been doing this for years. We have a formula, we have a matrix, and we have a system in place that can guesstimate almost to the T what they're going to qualify for, the minimum and maximum loan amount, okay? And I'll tell you this. Over almost 15 years in business, I've had one client who did not hit the minimum. And the reason why we gauge it that way is because we are not the lenders. We're not the final decision makers. So we're going to look at the client's profile, and we have tons and tons of previous clients that we work with, and we're going to come back to the client and let them know you qualify a minimum of 50, a maximum of 75, a minimum of 75, a maximum of 100, whatever the range is. And we always very confidently tell the client, if we do not get you the minimum, you owe us zero. Okay? So if I promise you $75,000 and I get you $74,500, you owe me zero. I got to get you the minimum in order for you to owe and pay the success fee. It's crazy how this lady was promised $100,000 and they only got her $5,000. And I was charged $8,000 on one of my personal cards. When I tried to dispute the charges, they were aggressive, and once they received my payment, they didn't even continue the services. Anyway, Seek, my God, y'all need to seek counseling, okay? If I could have leave Zero Star, I would. They promised money for a startup business, and they give you credit cards you've even gotten yourself. This is a huge scam. And again, I don't know why they would sell it like that. It's just people like this is why I make these videos, because they're going to ruin this industry, man. I love what I do. I love helping small business owners. But you have childish people that come into the industry and do stuff like this, come up with tactics on basically how to take advantage of consumers. Just look at the review. Do not do business with this company. This is a scam. filled out a business loan application through Sophie, and this company reached out to me. I initially did not want a loan, but they kept pressing and said they could get me liquid cash. After all of this said and done, they only got me credit card limits, charged me thousands of dollars to do so. This is a terrible company to work for. Crazy though, did Sophie, which is a real legit bank that I use to get my clients consumer personal loans, it seems like they have some type of an affiliate relationship with Seek, I should say. Okay, it's crazy. I don't know why Sophie, which offers really great personal loans, I don't know why they would even partner up with a company like Seek. Doesn't make any sense. Moving on. Scam. Look at this. Credit score 776. They guaranteed. Here you go. They guaranteed me funding for my business. Pulled 8 inquiries on my account. Now communication is off. Be careful. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Okay. Don't do business with Seek Capital. The only thing they do is open a personal and business credit cards in your name and charge you thousands of dollars to do it. This is something you can do yourself, your own for free. This place is a scam. Multiple lawsuits against them. Do not put yourself in debt. I mean, it's an ongoing thing. Okay. Now let's just see. You know what? I'm gonna be nice. Let's see most relevant. Okay. The last 2 months. Thank you for your wonderful. Thank you for your wonderful feedback, Tony. Glad to My experience with Colin was 5-star all the way. I asked so many questions, and Colin was able to knowledgeable, respectful, patient with me. If you need capital, hit Colin with Seek Capital. How much money did you get, dude? That seems like an employee paid review type of BS. Don't work with Seek Capital, whatever you do. I think we already read that one. And this is just the most recent ones. Okay, we're going to try to focus on some of their 5 stars to see if this is even legit. And if you notice, they're not responding to none of the negative reviews. Okay, although I was able to secure a loan, the representative Rajay went through the entire process with me and what was needed in order to secure the loan. Thank you, Rajay, whatever. Due diligence helped me secure a loan so fast. Okay, Seek Capital is a big scam. Okay, Rael Mures, he was great support, very supportive. Thank you so much. We're going to thrive in 2025. Okay, Rajay Endo was very professional, helpful. Okay. Definitely way more negative than positive. I don't know how they're maintaining a 4.7 Google rating. They got to be paying for that crap. One of the things that I refuse to pay for is ratings online. Even if you look at my Pentic Consulting Group BBB rating, which I'm pretty sure Keep is going to go in there and give me a bunch of negatives, which, do what you got to do, Keep. Get a bunch of your employees to go in there and give me a negative, because I'm being honest over here. I always say that I am not going to pay for any rating. This is not us. Let me do here. Pennington Consulting Group, BBB. I always say that, we're A+ rated with BBB and we didn't pay for it. Okay, been in business for a long time, since 2011, as I always say. Okay, just do honest business. We're not accredited. I will never pay for the BBB accreditation. This is the biggest scam there is out there. Some of this accreditation stuff. We have 5-star with BBB, numerous reviews. Okay, and I'm not even aggressive as I need to be as far as collecting reviews. I'm really not. I need to get a little bit more aggressive. Let's see what Trustpilot has to say. May also consider, okay. So these are their reviews on here. Let me see, review highlights. Recommended reviews. It's a scam. This is just, they got all information in business. I don't want to continue making this video a long video. We're already at 30 minutes in. You guys see it. You can go in here and read some of these reviews. This is just insane. It's stupid. Look at their website. The website right now is in maintenance or whatever you want to call it. This is ridiculous. For people that are in this industry, we have to police ourselves. Okay. The alternative lending industry is an amazing industry, and it's really changed the game when it comes to helping small business owners get access to capital. It really has. This is something that I started really looking at in post 2008. After the market crashed, it was almost impossible for small business owners or even established businesses to get access to Startups or even established businesses get access to capital. So business credit cards were huge. The deployment is temporarily paused. Why? Seek, why? What's going on? What's going on, Seek? This is not a BBB accredited business. Okay, let's see. This business has one alert: out of business, known or suspended. Oh my gosh. Seek Capital is out of business. Oh my gosh. Business started 2015. Okay, Roy Freeman. Let's put a face to this dude. Roy, I'm sorry. I gotta do it. Okay? I gotta do it. You're disrespecting my industry. Forbes. This the guy, entrepreneur, Seek Capital for. This is him. This is Mr. Freeman right here. Okay? I wonder what you about to do. If you need a job, Mr. Freeman, come over here. Okay? Let's teach you how to do this for real. Been doing this way longer than you. Okay? I know I have not made as much money as you because you over here scamming people. Okay? But if you want to know, Brian verified. Brian, you aren't verified yet. Why am I not verified? Okay. If you want to know how to do this for real, if you want to focus on actually helping small business owners, Mr. Seek Capital CEO, break through ads. That's the thing. Everybody that comes in here and tries to ruin this industry are coming from some type of ad agency. You know, as I talk so much about Oz, I always say that this guy needs to develop a course on how to do ads. You know, because that's what this guy came from. He was an ad guy, and he came over here and did a bunch of ads, got a bunch of people. He understands ads, and then now he's just... So, moral of the story here, if you want to do business, do honest business, man. Mr. Freeman, you know, you know how lucrative this business was. You know, and it's... If you just focus on helping people, you know, federal judges issued a preliminary injunction against Seek Capital. You know, you won't be in the situation that you're in, because I know this was very costly for you, you know, as far as alternative Seek business capital, credit card stacking, business line of credit loans, 1 to 3 weeks, maximum funding. Okay. You know, the guy was very good as far as just putting himself out there. You know, Seek Capital Business is not accepting applications. As of February 5, Seek Capital is not accepting applications for financing. This review contains information about Seek Capital. Okay. You know, this is just, you know, again, another company out there that is just making us look bad. You know, that's the reason why I make this stuff is, when are we going to stop this crap? When are we going to stop taking advantage of small business owners? Mr. Roy. You know, government reports not on government action and federal states. You know, this is not cool. You know, what are you going to do now? Next to Seek Capital. But anyway, this is my 2 cents as it pertains to Seek Capital. Look, Trustpilot. Look at this crap. They got a 4.8 Trustpilot. If you get into these reviews, you're going to see just a bunch of paid BS. Because look, how do you have a 4.8 Trustpilot with all this just negative reviews? I would like to first off start with this review saying I'm appalled that Google would allow such misleading, manipulative companies such as Seek Capital to be search-worthy in the algorithm, as I will explain why I started a startup photo booth rental company and wanted to secure funding for my business's name to purchase an equipment, $10K. But the only issue is my new company, most banks do not want to lend business loan a line of credit. Absolutely. That's one of the things I say. People like this are going to ruin this with startups. This is an excellent way to fund your business as a startup. I stumbled to Seek Capital on Google. I explained to Haden Galindo what I was looking for, $10,000 in business loans. She assured me that they will work and have a relationship with banks, secure the funding. That's the BS right there that most people talk about right there. We have relationship with banks, yeah, which is a lie. I will explain. She noted that they only start off at $20,000, so I agreed, but then she proceeded to put a request for $46,000 in funding. She transferred my files to Matthew Raffalo, who then tries to pull made-up expenses out of thin air, try to increase my secure funding to potentially a max of $100,000, which only increases their fees. I explained again that I'm only looking for $10,000, and I do not know where $100,000 came from, and that I'm not comfortable with requesting that amount. He went back and adjusted the request to $40,000 to $6,000 when, again, I only wanted $10,000. This company then proceeded to apply for 5 to 7 banks with opening 6 personal lines of credit and 1 business line of credit. If I wanted, this is just one of the things that we don't do. You know, a lot of credit card stacking companies do this. They do their personal and the business as well. They're stacking both together, knowing that the client is going to need money for their business. We're very upfront and very transparent. If somebody needs business credit funding, we offer them business credit funding. If somebody needs personal credit funding, we offer them personal credit funding. We literally even have 2 separate agreements for these programs. So no confusion at all. This is our personal credit line program. No, this is for personal loans. What is it? What's the PL application? Here's our PL application. This is for personal credit cards. Personal credit line application. It's just a matter of being transparent. I wanted to freely apply for various banks for personal lines of credit, and I could not done so myself. I was under the impression they had relationship with banks. Their definition of relationship is scheduling a coaching call to prep you on what to say to the banks when they call. Verify if you submitted the application. They get you excited when you mention a new line of questioning. The banks ask if they were unaware of. They then use information to help better coach potential future individuals who fall victim into their manipulative business practice. My file gets transferred yet to another person, Christopher Clary, who explained yet again, I was only looking for $10,000 and why is this file being bounced around? All these personal lines and credit is uncalled for. He pretends to be sympathetic and says, I will have my team listen to the recording because he said if I was feeling that a prior coworker was being deceptive in his verification phone call based on our conversation, he explained that he can only help discount the fees because I stopped process OVB when again, I only needed $10,000. So overall, this company opened up 5 personal lines of credit. And again, they were promising business credit, which I do not need, charging me $6,350. This guy only needed $10,000 for opening all these lines of credit because apparently they get paid based on the total lines of credit that they open for you, regardless if you accept it or not. To compound this manipulation, they do not make it clear they charge per account instead of the total receipt charge. They decided fueling dreams by providing funding to small business owners, but they leave out the fact that opening personal lines of credit, although they say business will hit with a bill that will take new startup businesses a year to cover. So yeah, they dedicated. Yeah, they're dedicated, all right. They saw someone with an excellent credit and took advantage of them. That's exactly what they did. Misleading, manipulative practices. Yes, they did. If you are someone looking for lines of credit and business loans for your company, name just to research yourself. Stay away from the companies like this. Not only do they have crazy bill, not only have this crazy bill, but I still can't even purchase my photo booth because this company bill is just about the same price as the booth. Please like this review to bring light to this shady company. This was end of last year. I mean, dude, I'm sorry that you went through such an experience. It really is disgusting. And again, hopefully I can put an end to people like this. Oz, you're the one, deceptive practice. You're also up here too. Telling people that you're teaching them how to become a business loan broker, but you don't. You teach them how to become a glorified referral partner. Anyway, I think this is probably the longest, video that I've done, exposing a particular company. And see, come on, man. We need to get this together. Okay, this is unnecessary what people in companies like you are doing. Please, let's stop. Okay, that's my video. That's my 2 cents for today. I appreciate it for joining me today. If you need real business funding, business credit cards, lines of credit, business loans, equipment financing, real estate, and you want to work with a credible, trusted, honest, upfront, transparent company that will not scam you, there's going to be a link in the description on how we can work together. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.